make you a lot of money,
Mm-hmm.
but it could, if it's not aligned,
Mm-hmm.
it's wrong.
Yeah. You'll
And,
find a way to sabotage it.
or you'll be doing something for a while and you'll be
Yeah.
totally unfulfilled. You're not in
Yeah.
your mission. You're not serving at a higher level as to where you
That's
should
right.
be. And it totally screws everything up, in my
Yeah.
opinion, from
Yeah.
my
I agree with you. I agree with you. And I find energetically wise. Oh my
opinion.
gosh.
I'm excited.
I'm so happy that we get to have this conversation, Maria. I want us to each like take a moment to introduce ourselves because I know like we're co-streaming on multiple places right now.
Yeah.
And so go ahead, introduce yourself, let everybody know who you are and then I'll do the same and then we're going to dive on in. We're going to have a really fun, intuitive flowing conversation about intuition and
Yep.
we're just going to let creator guide this entire conversation for y'all.
I love that. So basically, I am a 38-year entrepreneur, guys. I own multiple businesses. I have 3 different companies. And my main focus right now is I am an elite life coach for high performance female founders, leaders, and CEOs. I'm doing the inner work that really makes that outer success grow. And of course, my dog's going to bark because
Yeah, of
that's what
course.
my dog does when I'm live. So you'll have to forgive me.
I love it. That's so, so good. I love this new
Yeah.
transition and transformation for you and the work that you're doing.
Yeah. Well, I'm bringing my inner soul work. Like I always share to you, it's like I taught business for so many years,
Yeah.
but it was all the inner work, my magic, the downloads, the intuition, helping people tap into their own intuition and stepping into that next season. Really, it's midlife where I'm focusing now, and we really need this support. So this is where my calling is at this time of
Yeah.
my life, and I'm super excited.
I love it so, so much. I'm so excited. I can't wait for this conversation today. For those of you that are just getting to know me, my name's Tara Antler, and I've been an intuitive healer, soul coach, and spiritual mentor for 25 years. And similar to what Maria was saying, for Gabriel and I, my husband, we joined our businesses together when I found out that I was having twins. And we never looked back after that because we knew part of our purpose was to bring this spiritual work out into the world, out to the founders, the leaders, the business owners who are also leading a movement because we all need a lot of support. You and I know what it's like to have many moving parts in our life and to have a big purpose and a big mission and then have someone else come in to be able to help support that inner journey, that inner work that is necessary for the long-term growth for everyone, right? And we know that now. I think that there's no surprise in us saying that it's the inner work that we all do that makes everything else work. It makes everything else thrive. And so I think that this is such an exciting time for both of us here in the work that we're doing and how we get to support people because this is it. I think that there's so many great strategies and there's so many great business things that people can do and foundations and frameworks. And that's amazing. And I think every business owner, they need a good framework and a good strategy.
Yeah.
And you and I know that the inner work, the intuitive, the spiritual, I mean, that's the stuff that makes everything else enhance, right?
Oh yeah. I mean,
Mhm.
listen, from my early days, I knew, but I didn't know that everyone else didn't know. If that makes any sense. Like I
Yeah.
knew what I was like basing my decisions on, tapping into my gut, asking God, creator, source, whatever you call. I always say whoever's on duty. Like I just
Mhm.
say, whoever's on duty today, could you help me out? Give me some clarity here.
Yeah.
Um, but it is the magic because, Tara, I was dabbling for maybe, I'm going to say like 14 years because I wrote my first book about 14 years ago and it was Love and Light. And that was just something I really didn't know anything about. It was just what I got downloaded. It was my
Yeah.
own journey. And I remember I had a mentor at that time. I think I shared this story with you who was like, "What are you doing? That's gonna discredit you."
Oh my
For a
gosh.
business mentor. I mean, and for a split second, I was like, "Well, why?" Like, I always struggled in the beginning of bringing in my spirituality and my intuition and my energy and what I knew to be true to
Yeah.
healing, to growing, the multiple successful practices, to just getting through life. And I
Mhm.
was like, yeah, no, this is what I want to write about. And
Mhm.
again, it took me a while to transition all into speaking of my faith, the belief in intuition, the energy, and our like that profound
Yeah.
groundedness to spirit because I had people surrounding me that were telling me it's going to make you look bad. And
Right.
this was the best thing I ever did for my brand, for my life, right? And I know you're on board. You were one of my first. Um, I remember I had not a reading with you. I had a session with you when I first met you, and it was like I remember you telling me you're like, I see you have to dance. And it was like it just like smacked me upside the head. I'm like, it was so clear, like I had to just be me.
Exactly, and that you were this earth angel, you know? Like, there was so much energy and light that wanted to come through you,
Yeah.
and it was just about you standing in it and owning it, stepping into it so fully,
Yeah.
right?
How many people, right? Don't how many people
Oh,
are so afraid
I know.
of owning their light? And
Yeah.
it's the purity of our beingness. We're all energetic
Mhm.
beings.
Yeah.
Like there's nobody that's gonna come out and if you're human, you're an energetic being. Like that's the
Exactly.
end of it. Like
Yeah.
you give love, you have so much light, you're connected to the divine. I always say it's like a direct line. Like I have a
That's
direct
right.
line.
That's right. Did I ever tell you that the first book I ever wrote that I didn't publish, that I wrote actually 14 to 15 years ago when Gabriel and I were living? It was right after we met. And we started our journey together in LA. Then we moved to Trinidad. Gabriel's mom was passing away. Then we moved to Ireland for 9 months. And then we moved to Mexico before we both came back to Canada. And during that time, that year and a half, so about 14 to 15 years ago, my very first book was called Love Ignites Light.
I mean, come on, you can't make this stuff up.
Right? This is what I'm saying.
Like you just can't. Like again,
Like,
I just and that my that book is like imperfectly imperfect. There's no
right?
table of content.
Same here.
It's
I
not
actually
even
didn't
like
even
fake.
publish it because I was like, "What am I gonna do with this?" Because it was just streaming pure consciousness, and what's so interesting, like, you and I have known that we've been soul sisters, right? Like, the moment we met and connected, we're like soul sisters, and when we saw each other in person at Kelly's event, we
Yep,
were like soul sisters, and
yep,
so
yep.
hearing this, I was like, "This is so fascinating," and this is the way the universal field works. It creates these similar beings because we need a lot of light in the world to go out with that unique configuration that is you, that is me, is that everybody else, and go out and go, okay, let's share the light. Let's share the love. Let's expand through our gifts. And I think that this is such a powerful time. The fact that you and I both at the same time in like that 14, 15 years ago wrote on a similar topic. And it's like, you can't make this stuff up.
I always say that. I'm like, you can't make this stuff
You
up.
can't.
You just can't. And like even again, when I saw you in person, it's like I knew you many lifetimes.
Mhm.
Like I just did.
Yes.
Like it was like no time had passed. We had never met in person before.
Yep.
It's just so cool. But I
It
think
is so cool. And it's like, this is the whole thing about each person trusting their own intuitive flow and trusting also what the divine is guiding through each person, especially now, because there's so much opening up. There's so much expansion happening. We're on this really cool precipice of old falling, new rising. So if ever there was a time for someone to reinvent themselves, step into their gifts, own who they are without apologizing for it anymore,
yep,
without like, well, I might have to soften it a little bit. I'm a intuitive healer, something. No, we don't. We could just go full on now. We could
yeah,
just go full on and say, this
yeah,
is who I am. This is what I stand for.
yeah,
And I feel like so many are being called up now. And this is such a great time for people to claim that
yeah.
and stand in it.
I think it's so important too. It is, Tara. Again, I totally pivoted my business because I saw the evolution
Yeah.
happening. I was
Yeah.
witnessing it because people used to come to me for business,
Hmm.
but nothing we did was business related. It
Yeah.
was all the inner work. I was doing meditations, hypnosis, because again, I never put on the forefront. I'm a certified integrative healing practitioner. So I
Hmm.
was trained in hypnosis, guided imagery, transformational life coaching. And truthfully, it all comes from the divine. Like, it's all
Hmm.
downloaded stuff, like the gifts that we all have.
Hmm.
And I'm like, "This is where the transformation is. It's
That's right.
not in my strategy. It's not in the
Mhm.
marketing." Yes, you need all those things.
Yeah.
but it wasn't the core of what was changing people's
That's right.
lives.
Yeah. I
And
totally agree with you.
I just saw so many clients in these past 2, 3 years
Mhm.
shed relationships that were toxic, shed, just
Mhm.
careers and old patterns and family trauma, just
Mhm.
things that no longer were part of who their story was.
No. Yeah.
And to me, that's the best reinvention ever, man,
It's the
because
best.
it's what you're called to step into, which is your
Mhm.
authentic self. I know we've spoken
100%.
about this many times before.
Yep.
You can't make up your authentic self because
No.
it's who you really are.
No, and this is why the whole imposter thing doesn't even really exist because you are who you are and you are who you are at different stages of your life. As long as you just be who you are and say, yes, this is who I am. And even if you're moving through something, it's
Yep.
okay to say, I don't got it all figured out, but I'm moving through it. This is
Yeah.
something that we're all learning together. And, there's something that I want to touch on that you mentioned because I was thinking about this when you said about the inner work versus the strategy work. And there was a retreat that a friend of mine, she asked me to come and co-facilitate something. And it was originally only supposed to be about a 90-minute session. She said, take however long you need to. And I said, well, let me know where the group is at. And it was all like high performance entrepreneurs, business owners, founders. And when I got into the space,
Right.
we both agreed that we couldn't move them forward. She couldn't move them forward into their strategy and business building until this inner work happened. Because the mind, right? And you've probably seen this where the mind wants to come in and be like, well, how do I figure this out? And how do I do this? And what's the next thing? And what's the next step? And what's the next strategy? And they get so jammed up here that if you could just create space and open everything back up, realign, all the divinity, all the clarity just comes in and then it's easy. And that's what she found was that after this inner work, that's when the next day when they had their mastermind, they were able to make it all work and make it click because there was spaciousness, because the divine was already entered into the conversation. And then their intuition was open. So when we're looking at our businesses, I'm sure you're the same. Like when we make decisions based on our business, I mean, I could take it to my logical mind and be like, this looks good. This might be good. This sounds good. However, I'm going to drop it in and I'm going to feel if it's in alignment. Intuition above everything else, even if something looks perfect on paper, right? It's like perfect. And if your intuition's like, I don't know. I didn't know about that. Then I'm going to listen to that piece, right? You're probably the same.
Oh my god, my famous line, and it's something I teach all my clients. Actually, one of my client the other day, she said to me, Maria, you taught me this years ago, and I do it every day." I'm like, "How does this feel?"
Yeah.
I go, "Drop in, and how does it feel?" I go, "Get your brain out of the equation." And I have to be honest with you, I do not make any decision logically.
Yeah.
I make it all intuitively now.
Hmm.
And any
I'm the
decision
same.
I second guess and I go with
Mhm.
logic, or I let someone like if people
Mhm.
guide you, advise you, because when you're in business, you have all these things,
That's right.
it always goes south. Or I wind up
Always.
with something that I'm like, I don't like this. And then
Yeah.
I tear it apart and I'm like, yeah, this is not
Yep.
for me. This is all wrong. It can,
Yeah.
and again, this is where people make a big mistake. Something can make you a lot of money,
Mhm.
but it could, if it's not aligned,
Mhm.
it's wrong.
Yeah. You'll find
And
a way to sabotage it.
or you'll be doing something for a while and you'll be
Yeah.
totally unfulfilled. You're not in
Yeah.
your mission. You're not serving at a higher level as to where you
That's
should
right.
be. And it totally screws everything up, in my
Yeah.
opinion, from
Yeah,
my
I agree with you. I agree with you. And I find energetically wise, like if I do something that's not in alignment with my energy, or if I try to I think about this all the time. The amount of posts that I might do in a day, right? And there are some days that I'm like, no, mm-mm. Absolutely. My whole being is like, no. And if I go against that, there might be a little bit of something, but the energy is not connected to it. And so it falls flat. But when my energy is around it, in behind it, all with it,
Yep.
then it just everything opens up. Because that's again, if we listen to that instead of it listening just to what we think we should do from a strategic or logical perspective. And I like having some framework and I like having consistency because I can easily walk myself in many different directions. So sometimes having some consistency frequency, I'm
Well,
like,
we're
okay,
creative.
just do the thing,
Yeah, well,
just
we're
do the thing.
creative, so we could definitely be
Yeah,
very
yeah.
left and
Yeah,
right.
yeah, totally, right? Just do the thing. And then it's like listening. So it's like part of it for me is listening always to the divine, but then and also the energy. And then having a little bit of consistency. And if there's a day where I'm like, I need a nap,
Yep.
mm-mm, then I have to go do that, because that's what my being is asking of me. And who knows what our spirit's doing when we're taking a nap,
Oh,
right? Like,
mine's like traveling here and
me
there.
too. Uh-huh.
Like I get the best ideas when I rest. I did make a post about that when I was in Italy a few weeks ago, and I was literally in bed under the fluffy blankies and the sun was coming, and I'm like, rest is the most underrated
Yeah.
superpower that
Yes.
we've just forgotten about. Like me, I need salt water. I need to be barefoot. Like, I mean, it's freezing here in Jersey, and I'm like, I have slip on shoes, my flip flops on right now. Like,
Yes.
I need to be
Yeah.
connected. Like, I need salt water. Like, these are the things like I
Yep.
need, but I honor them. Like, I don't wear any fabrics that are not like linen or
Mhm.
cotton. But it's because I've learned what I need.
That's right.
And that comes to intuition too. Like,
Mhm.
where are you? I'm speaking to like whoever's watching,
Mhm.
like, where are you not being honest with yourself
Mhm.
and compromising what you really need?
Mhm. 100%.
That's what
Mhm.
clouds us. You're right. So,
Yep.
yes, while we all need strategy, again, we all need marketing. I personally do all of my own social media stuff. I have
Yeah,
some of them
so do I.
together, but if I don't write it,
Mhm.
it's not happening.
Yeah,
I don't
same.
want anything auto-generated. I
Mhm.
don't because again,
Yeah.
this is my personal belief, my spiritual belief. I believe that if something artificial writes my thoughts,
Mhm.
it's gonna distort the
Mhm.
whole thing. Like I see this mumbo jumbo.
Mhm.
That's not true.
That's right.
So, again, I always tell everyone when you read something, you should be able to hear me the way I talk.
Yes.
And if you know me,
Absolutely.
you know how I talk.
Exactly. That's why if you ever see my thing, all my writings are like dot, 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 dot. Even in my first book that I wrote, I
Me
had a lot of
too.
dot, dot, dots. And I remember the editor, he was like, do you realize how many dot, dot, dots that you have used in your book? And I was like, yeah, but that's how I talk. I'm like,
Yeah,
I want people to know that there's like spaciousness. So it's like, breathe,
yeah,
space for a second, and then let's go to the next thought, right?
yeah.
So
Like
it's so
I got in
funny. I
trouble for
agree with
dots.
you.
I got in trouble for dots. I remember being apprehended for I love caps. Like if something's like
Oh, yeah, me
that's my
too.
personality. Like if I'm saying bah, like you need to know it's like coming off strong. Like I'm not gonna filter
Yeah.
what I'm saying or feeling. But at the end of the day, Tara, I think the gift that we're giving anyone watching today is you don't need permission. No one needs permission from
No.
anyone, from us or
Mm-mm.
anyone else. They need permission to allow themselves
Yeah,
to be the light that they are. Because I
that's right.
believe we're all born a light. We're all a spark that becomes this
Mhm.
light that lives. And again, everyone has their own interpretation. This is just mine. And your light lives within you.
That's right.
And that's the gift. That's
Yeah,
the gift in this new era of
I
movement, in
agree.
this new era of expansion, of love, of light, of being,
Mhm.
right?
I agree
And I
with
know
you.
this is what you teach people every day, how to
Mhm.
drop in.
Mhm. That's exactly it. And just in that dropping in, it reminds me of one of my friends, Misty Tripoli. She created the World Groove Movement. I don't know if you've ever seen her ads, but it's always like they're
I
dancing
hear
and
you celebrating your birthday with her, yeah.
yeah, yeah. It's so good. So she's been a friend of mine for more than 20 years. And one thing that the groove method is founded upon is nobody gives a shit. Like if you're dancing in a room, nobody cares. Nobody's looking at you. And I relate that always to life. It's like we think that everybody cares so much about what we're doing. And occasionally people, yes. However, it's like it's that saying, it's like if you just do you, right? Like do you, boo, right? You just own it and hold it and
Yeah,
live it. And then whoever is meant to be in your field, whoever is meant to be soulfully connected to you, y'all are going to find each other. Everybody's going to find each other. It's going to be this beautiful, attractive thing.
yeah,
Instead of, if we're trying to be somebody else, we literally step outside of ourselves. And then what are we attracting? Probably something that we're not because we're not being that true version of ourselves. So
yeah,
I think if people just like relaxed a little bit
yeah,
and dropped into themselves and just said, you know what? I like I don't know. Some people like things a little spicy. Some people are more peaceful. I look at Gabriel, he teaches very similar stuff, but he's more peaceful. He is the peacemaker. I'm like
Yeah,
creative, like, let's go,
right.
and
Me and you are
joyful.
very powerful. Like we're manifester.
Yes.
What's your human design? Are you a manifester?
Manifester.
Me
Yeah.
too. I
Uh-huh.
of course we are.
Mhm.
Of course.
This is why we always have so many ideas. We're like,
Yeah, yeah,
"What?"
me too. I'm like, oh, let's just have 10 more businesses. That's okay.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. Gabriel looks at me, he's like, "Tara," he's like, "Another one." And now, so for me, Maria, I just add more courses. So within the academy, I was like, "Now I have an academy." So I'm like, "What other courses can we teach?"
But I do the same thing because I have an academy for the whole salon, wellness, and
That's
spa
right.
industry. Then I expanded and added mine, and I'm like, well, these people need this work too. Then I have Maria
Yes.
Fontana Consulting, which is pure, like I call it elite light worker,
Yes.
life coaching for midlife CEOs.
Yes.
And then I have a brick and mortar. And again, it's all these are vehicles
Yeah,
to touch more lives in a more powerful way. I mean, that's the
exactly.
way I look at it. Again,
Yeah.
why are we on Substack? I know why I'm on Substack because I love writing and I
Me
love reading.
too.
So I was like,
Me
oh my
too.
God, this is like so perfect for me because
Me
it means
too.
oh,
Yes, I agree with you 100%. It's been so nice. Like, I miss those days. I don't know how it was for you, like 14, 15 years ago when you were writing that first book. They
it
were
was
talking about
amazing.
love and life. It was so beautiful.
Yeah,
I remember just sitting, like, wherever
yeah,
we were traveling in the world, I'd always have a coffee. There'd be like a cafe somewhere that I'd sit, and I'm like, this is my time to write. And I would just get into this zone and it was just like flowing like water. And it just felt so good to express in that way. And I feel like on the regular social media world, I don't know about you, but I mean, I had to learn that. I
yeah,
learned how to like have things short and,
me
but
too.
the ways of the social media, and
I,
now being back on Substack, I'm, it's like returning to myself,
yeah,
if that makes
yeah.
any sense,
No,
you
I
know?
am with you 100%
Yeah,
because
it's
I feel
wild.
I'm like, "Oh, this is how it started." Like, I remember it was
Aha.
like, even before YouTube, I remember I had, like, a blog. I just started
Yes,
blogging.
me too.
I was a young mother at the time, and I was writing my first blog was about how to it was called I think it was Pretty Mama, a
I
beauty
love
guide for
it.
new mom. That was my first and I used to write about, um, more natural ways to take care of your hair, the things that were safe for your hair, your body, and your skin. Because I realized at the time when I was pregnant with Isabella, which was 25 years ago, like all these questions that came up for me.
Yeah.
I thought, I wonder other people. So the point is, wow, it's like coming back to yourself because I do believe
Mhm.
writing is, it's like you're transmitting
Yes,
like downloads and there's something
100%.
beautiful. And if they're not perfect, that's even more beautiful.
I agree with you. And this is why, like you said, to your point about not having the AI pieces write the things.
I'm not
Because
interested.
again, it's like if we're talking about leaning into our spiritual divinity and our intuition, I
Yeah.
want my intuition to be having a conversation with my higher self and the divine and let it trickle in. And however it wants to express itself, perfected in its imperfections,
Yep.
that's great. Like, I am happy with that because then at least it's like if we're talking and having a conversation.
Yeah.
I think a lot of times things are so scripted
Yeah,
and
no.
so you know what I mean? And it's like, "Oh god,
Me and you
put me
don't script. We just go with the flow.
oh,
Well,
oh,
and I
no
can
way."
tell you, sometimes people, I mean, you're one of the few people that when I had you as a guest on my podcast, I'm like, I'm just gonna send you the Zoom link and we just kind of go intuitively. Some people have said, oh, I
They
can't do
freak out. Yeah,
they say they can't even do it. And I'm like,
yeah,
well, why? Why can't we just have a conversation and talk? If you know your stuff and you know you're brilliant, it's
totally.
coming from your soul.
Yeah.
I mean, even with speaking, and I know you're with meditating, you don't have scripts. I know the last event we both were at, I said, no, I don't. They said, oh, do you want to know what we're going to talk about? I go, no.
No.
What do you mean? I go, no,
No,
I'm just going to go into
exactly.
it. Just go. And it was great. Like,
Exactly.
it's just,
I think the last time I did a scripted talk was when I was in grade 6.
oh boy. Yeah, I could see that, right?
It was
Oh
like the
man.
speech writing. I was like, speech writing,
Oh,
speech writing. We had to handwrite everything, right? So speech writing, I rewrote that speech, I don't know, at least 5 or 6 times to memorize it. And after that, when I did that speech, I remember thinking to myself, if this is what speeches are supposed to be like, I don't want to do them. And it wasn't until I remember, like, later, a teacher of mine, he said, "Just pick a topic, go learn about it, and then
Yeah,
come and present. Don't over
yeah.
prepare. Don't
I love
script it.
that.
Just show
I
up
love
and tell us what you learned." There was such
I love that.
liberation and freedom in that to be able to just
Oh,
go, "Well, I love this topic. This is what I'm passionate about. This is what I learned." And everybody, no one was put to sleep in boredom. But
I
everybody
know.
was leaning in. They were like, "Because you love it, I now love it." And to
Yes,
me, that was such a beautiful way to be able to convey a message without having to be so scripted, you
and you know
know?
what? At the end of the day, that's what we're here to share. We're here to share light.
Yeah.
We're here to share that it's okay to be in your power. We're here to share that you can be yourself
Yes.
and own all the magic that God, source, creator, whoever was on duty that day gave you.
Exactly. Exactly that. I love it. I'm like, I wish I could high five you through the screen. I'm like, high five.
There you go. I can feel you. I feel like you're right here. Well, hopefully, am I gonna see you in the next few weeks?
I
Do we
hope
have a
so. I was
Okay,
literally just looking at it today. I said to Gabriel, I'm like,
okay.
when is your next pickleball tournament? Because he's got several pickleball tournaments coming up.
Alright.
And for those of you that don't know, he's going pro. So now he's like, this is serious stuff, you know? And so
Good.
it's like a big deal over here. So
Alright.
I was looking at it. Yeah. And so hopefully I'll be able to see you in Florida.
Yeah, if I hope so.
Me
I hope
too.
so.
Oh my
Well,
gosh. I
listen,
love you
I
so
had the
much. This
best
was so
conversation
much
with
fun.
you, and if anyone does not work with Tara, I highly recommend that you guys get on it and connect with her on a soul level, expand yourself, and really step into that next level of light because I personally adore your work and everything you do.
Thank you, honey. I love you
I love
so much. I'm going to echo that right back to you. I'm going to receive it first. I just receive it for a second. And then I'm going to echo it right to you, too, because I know how powerful you are and how powerful the work is that you do with everybody, especially the clarity, the being able to move things and to re strategize and to shift when you need to. And especially because this whole new season and cycle, when you hit that, like you were talking about the midlife piece,
Yeah. You're
it's a
still a
whole other
baby.
energy.
You're
It's a
still
whole
a
other
baby.
energy that you enter
Yeah,
into.
yeah. It all of a sudden, you do like, it a lot of things do change
Yeah,
in
the
a
way you
good way.
think. In a good
Well,
way.
yeah,
Just we should have another talk about that at some point, about that
yes,
shift that
I'd
starts to
love
happen,
to.
because it's starting to shift for me now. And so I just want to echo that back to you, that I know the powerful work that you do for other people as well, and holding them and guiding them through those changes and stages of not just their life, their business, and their life, because they go hand
Yeah,
in hand,
they go
and you do it from such a beautifully spiritual space and perspective as well. And I know the world needs more of that now.
the world needs more of that. I always laugh, and this is my closing statement. Clients come to me and sometimes they'll say, "I'm kinda spiritually curious." They're like, "I really love what you do, but I'm just not sure how I'm gonna." And I said, "It's all an interpretation of your own thing. There is no
100%.
linear way of anything.
That's
It's
right.
your own whatever your soul says is right for you."
100%. I echo that 100%. It always is. It's so perfect.
Well, I love you.
I love
Go
you.
swimming for me.
Oh my God, I'm sweating. You should see, I have sweat dripping down my legs right now. That's how
Well,
hot
go
I am.
take a dip. Go.
Ooh, I'm gonna go
Well,
jump in the ocean.
this was so good. I love
It
you,
was
Tara.
so
Thank
good. I
you.
love
Bye, my
you.
angel
Bye,
friend.
honey.
Bye, baby.